going to depend on, just the Domain Zoo matchups really depend on if this main deck Doorkeeper Throw is really good. If it is, you usually have yourself a really strong matchup, and that's not really the case here. It does shut down, air quotes, the combo, as Glaring Fleshraker doesn't deal the damage, but you can still get the infinite mana with Basking Broodscale and Blade of the Blood Chief, so, I wouldn't think it's too good, and it's probably going to be sided out.
All right, sounds good. We got Sebastian on the bottom here and Nate on the top. Again, both players are 10-2. This is a very important match. A loss here puts you in a spot where you're no longer in control of your destiny, and tiebreakers will probably come into play. So we see the perfect start for Sebastian, a turn 1 Leyline of the Guild Pact.
Yes.
And then the perfect start for Nate with a turn 0 Devourer of Destiny. So good starts for both players.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll see if the Scion comes down. And once again, the Scion, it's good, but that is not really the axes that Nate is really attacking Sebastian here. You can just Emrakul go over the top, make Scion of Draco have a less than ideal attack, or just win the game with your combo.
All right, so here is that Scion. Basic Plains. That's not a basic Plains. That's for all the colors, right?
Yes, yes.
So all the land types are here. Scion is here. It's going to have a lot of abilities. Too many to name at present, but it's good.
It's hexproof. That's the main one. There is no destroying that creature ever, and it really makes interacting very difficult. And I will say, Scion of Draco with your powerful hate piece of Doorkeeper Throw, that does stop the combo, just because it didn't stop the combo because you could get infinite mana, and then you could Kozilek's Command for your whole deck and get, the ability to deal with the Doorkeeper Throw. When you can't target it, you can't win the game via that damage. You can still find Emrakul and that kind of stuff, but.
All right, so we'll see a Rumble here from Nate, very popular card this weekend, Malevolent Rumble. We're going to see, I missed my card went to hand if you caught that. We got a Blade in play.
I think it was a Boseiju, so Boseiju to deal with the Leyline here looks really nice.
All right, that's step 1. So, back Sebastian's way. Or Scion of Draco, a very fast clock. And clock, who's the beatdown here?
Definitely the Zoo deck, yep. Yep, definitely the Zoo deck trying to get this done, and this really isn't your granddad Zoo deck, though, No Wild Nacatls in sight. No Kurdaves, no Kurdaves.
Loam Lion?
Yes, there's Loam Lions,
yes.
4 of.
All right, let's go Loam Lion. Okay, so going to get in the red zone. A little Vigilance action, 4 damage and 4 life. Again, life might not be a factor for Sebastian if the combos kind of go off, or we see a big Emrakul.
Yeah, totally true. And I will say Domain Zoo had a pretty solid day. It put a lot of players into our top 2 pages of the standings, and, has 19 decks into day 2, has skyrocketed into the 5th most played deck. So pretty strong stuff here from Domain. All
right, Territorial Kabu comes down, flexible creature, and back Nate's way. We see Ugin's, is that Labyrinth, right?
Yeah, Ugin's Labyrinth, yep.
Ugin's Labyrinth that imprints, Devour Destiny goes down. A temple hiding there under that Carposian Forest, so a lot of mana available for Nate. And now it's on Nate to see what the next step is, because there is a lot of power on the board for Sebastian.
There really is, and Sebastian has to be a little careful here about the mana base that he fetches up, because sure, you have Leyline, you can just say I don't care about anything, but that's not the case when Boseiju's there. So if Sebastian just say, I don't know, got a Jeskai Triumph, not, probably not in the deck here, but got a land that didn't give you other card types here, this could be a problem, as the Kavu would shrink and you'll lose some of those abilities. Now, that being said, when the Leyline does get destroyed, you get to search up another land, which is a big deal.
So there's a Lush Portico, maybe not, just in kidding. So Lush Portico goes back into the deck, looking to possibly surveil here. We're going to see a Indrith Triumph, the Jund Triumph, I believe. I'm sorry, the Abzan Triumph, I apologize.
Yep. Idatha, I believe.
That's not even like an altar, and I can't even pass the buck on that one.
Yeah.
That's just a real card. Love the land choices here. Old border shock lands and a sweet-looking beta basic, and there it goes. So Boseiju hits the Leyline, gets to search up another land with a land type. It's going to be a Thundering Falls. It gets to surveil on anyway. So good setup here from Sebastian.
Yeah, and now we have kind of all the types here. So it didn't really do a lot to be able to deal with this Leyline, but it does unlock, let's say, future Boseijus to deal with Scion of Draco and interact with Sebastian's permanents profitably in any way.
All right, so Sebastian's going to scry. Going to take a little look. The Thunder rolls. What's it going to be?
Either way, a solid clock here, so 9 damage going to be coming in and really putting Nate to the test. Now, Territorial Kavu does still have Trample just because of the Scion of Draco, the fact that it is green and red, it has Trample and First Strike.
Had Trample.
Well, it still does, but it's just gone.
Trampling in the Exile Zone, a little less valuable.
A lot less.
So we see a K command here, another popular card this weekend, and Kavu is out of here. I think we're looking at a little Scry action, so Scry 2, and then draw a card.
And really good discipline there from Nate. Not doing that first and then besageing, making sure Sebastian didn't get any extra information and then has that surveil. Like, might want to put a Kavu to the bottom saying, hey, I have enough pressure, if Nate were to do that in the opposite order.
All right, so Scion comes back in. And now what is the next step for Sebastian? How about Scion number 2?
Okay, so Sebastian also has a Flage hanging out there too, so this is a lethal turn next turn from Sebastian, and Nate Green has to very much try to do the thing now. And that looks like a Leyline Binding as well, so Sebastian has lethal next turn and has interaction right now, so whoo!
Yeah, great spot to be, having the interaction up, and then kind of the hidden lethal where Nate be like, oh, well, I go to 2, I can maybe work with that, but we, of course, can see the hands where Nate cannot. There's Urza's Saga coming down. Going to go to Chapter 1. Can't tap mana without Chapter 1.
That's true. Be a rough one to miss that trigger, I guess.
Yep. And we've got a good amount of mana available for Nate, but a lot to work through. And, of course, Nate doesn't know about either the Leyline or the Flage. And this is where the bird's eye view of coverage, you might go, oh, well, you could do this or that, but it's hard to know.
Yeah, it's hard to know for sure.
All right, Vexing Bauble and pass. Now, it is fairly difficult to Kozilek's command a Scion of Draco.
Not impossible, though.
It's true. It is true.
But not very likely here. So with the life total going down, you got to think that there's really no way to do anything here. And a little risky way to tap there if there was a way to gain life, as you didn't leave white mana open with Leyline. But whatever, it worked.
Upstairs, scoreboard. All right, Sebastian takes down game number 1 here in pretty dominating fashion, honestly.
Yeah, that was nice.
All right, so let's pop at Nate's sideboard here. We see 2 Damping Sphere, 2 Fire Spout, 2 Nature's Claim, 1 Soul Guide Lantern, 1 Spider Punk, hello, 2 Thief of Existence, 2 Unholy Heat, 2 Vexing Bauble, and 1 Wastescape Battle Mage. What's Nate going to do to stop the zoo from rumbling on in here?
Let's see. I don't love too many of these cards here. Thief of Existence looks decent if you want to blow up some permanent. Damping Sphere, no, you don't really want that. Yeah, I really don't like a lot of these cards, and what that really tells me is Nate has a pretty solid matchup here.
All right, so Fire Spout would be good against Curd Ape and Wild Nicottle, but not necessarily against the new school of Zoo decks.
Yeah, that's the thing. I suppose Unholy Heat is probably good. You can still kill a lot of the creatures with that, but yeah, that's the problem is this Zoo deck is not this go-wide little creature deck like it used to be, where, you know, you do want Fire Spout or something like that. Those are specifically for energy decks.
Sounds good. On Sebastian's side, we see 1 Clarion Conqueror, 2 Consign of Memory, 1 Damping Sphere, 2 Mystical Dispute, 3 Obsidian Charmaw, 2 Surgical, 2 Wear Tear, and 2 Wrath of the Skies. Where's Sebastian at?
Ooh, okay, so this one is pretty nice for this matchup. When you have this many cards, I would say that kind of screams out, hey, I don't have the best matchup. I like the Wear Tears, I like the Damping Spheres, I like the Obsidian Charmaws, I like the Clarion Conqueror, and the 2 more Consigns. So we're bringing in a lot of cards here. And yeah, it'll be tough to see what you take out. I bet those Doorkeeper Thralls do end up coming out. And honestly, maybe even like Flage. Flage is not necessarily what you need to be doing against the Eldrazi deck, so you got plenty of stuff that you can take out in this matchup.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that Doorkeeper Thrall is really good against a lot of decks in the metagame, but when you find a spot where it's not that good, it's kind of a 1-2 or a flyer, not doing too much. So,
exactly.
So we'll let these players get all set as they sideboard up. Of course, open deck list. They have a lot to look at and a lot to go over. And we're going to remind you, we're going to be here next week to do it all over again. And
You're coming back to Houston?
No. Oh, wait. Oh, I booked the wrong flight. Oh, no. We got Magic Spotlight Spider-Man. You're going to be in at SGCon Baltimore next weekend, the 24th to 26th. It's going to be a blast. We're playing Standard. This is an open tournament, so not like a regional championship. You can come, you show up, and you're ready to play, you're in. All right, get in there. We got 4 Pro Tour slots to top 8, a bunch of great prizes, and a bunch of great other events too. Great side events, all sorts of awesome things happening. And you've already put out the call for Spider-Man costumes, all right?
Yes.
Me and Corey giving out high fives to anyone in a Spider-Man costume, so hope to see you there. Spider-Man, Spider-Gwen, whatever Spider you got, Spider-Punk.
If you got a pig, Spider-Pig, why not?
2 high fives, 2 high hoops.
2 high hoops.
For the Spider Pig. And so StarCityGames.com/SGCon for all your information. Hope to see you there.
Yeah, that'll be fun. 10K up top for that tournament as well. So you could just shuffle up your deck and walk out with $10,000 and a Pro Tour invite to Pro Tour Lorwyn in Richmond. So that's going to be a really fun event.
Yeah, these qualifying events are excellent, Pro Tour, regional championships, but there's something special about the open door events.
Yes.
Where you can just walk in and anyone can walk it off the street and they could win the whole tournament.
Yeah.
You could go from being, it's the moneymaker effect for all you poker fans out there.
There
where
you
go
go.
From, a relative unknown to being, I'm on the Pro Tour now, I've won a major event, I'm on coverage. So that dream is very, very real, and I hope to see you take a shot at it.
Yeah, amen. Those open events are, how I got my start back in the day. Those kind of style of events definitely catapulted my career. So, yeah, come on in. Win the event.
Then what happened?
I mean, then it all went downhill, Jim.
All right, let's take a peek here. Get a little picture, and see what's going on the other tables. We got real fast. We're looking at some Amulet Titan stuff is going off. I'm sorry, it's not just milling here. Are these cards being milled or cards in play? We got a Rune Crab, a little Demir Mill. That's a nice dark horse contender.
It really is. But hey, I mean, it seems like it could have a decent matchup against Amulet. If you mill all those lands that they need to bring in, you could really get them. But at the same time, Haven, it looks like she's popping off.
Yeah, it looks like those lands are in play, unfortunately, for a mill player. So let's get back to our main match here. We see turn 1, Grove of the Burn Willows. That's a classic, the original Future Sight art. I'm Nate. Thank you.
Yes.
Ancient Stirrings, gain a life for Sebastian. Going to look at the top 5, find a colorless card, put that one in hand.
I can't wait to reveal a different Grove of the Burn Willows right now. Come on.
I think Nate's got me.
I think so, too.
Yeah, I'm seeing these old border. These are nice cards on both players' sides. So
yes.
Big props to both Nate and Sebastian.
No Leyline this time around, and there's a possibility that Leylines were taken out as well. This isn't necessarily the matchup where it's amazing. Leyline of the Guild Pack, I should say.
All right, so just a fetch line and pass for Sebastian, back Nate's way. We're going to see a rumble. Let's get ready to rumble.
Yep.
Hasn't been the first time I said it, not going to be the last.
What an incredible card. It's just been popping up in so many decks.
And that is quite the selection. 2 Urza Saga, Blade of the Blood Chief, and Haywire Might.
You see Sebastian there with Wear Tear in hand, so was really hoping that Saga was going to be the land into Rumble, as that was going to be a bit of a blowout here. And Saga's picked up, and now Sebastian's in this kind of weird squeeze, because I also saw a Territorial Kavu where you want to get a threat on the battlefield, especially a card like Territorial Kavu that can either start munching away on your opponent's Delirium count or just start looting away to find yourself profitable interaction. But you also want to leave up Wear Tear to blow up Urza Saga, so it's a tough spot. I would assume Sebastian still leans with getting a threat in play and maybe blowing up the land later, but we shall see.
Yeah, with no Curd Apes and Wild Nicodles, we see a lot of 2-mana threats in this deck.
Yeah.
Aside from Ragavan, turn 1 is mostly a time to get your Triome, get your mana set up, and so on and so forth. So, it's fast in the sense that you're playing really, really powerful cards, but not fast in the sense that you're just blitzing 1-drops.
Yeah, no Bloodbraid Elves either.
Ooh.
I'm just getting Jim jealous of the good old Zoo days.
All right, so you Triome. Back Sebastian's way, going to draw. Fetch land number 2. Fetch lands, of course, are the most important part of this deck by far. The ability to get these Triomes, the proper shock lands. It's kind of that math problem. I know 5 types. What's my Triome? What's my shock land?
And most of the time it is Abzan Triome and Steam Vents. That's kind of your perfect combination. And looks like what we went for now. So there's Scion. There's also Kavu. So next turn being able to have Kavu plus wear away the land is very excellent.
All
or
right.
tear away the land, I guess.
All right, so step 1, Scion of Draco in play. Back Nate's way. Nate plays the Saga that was revealed. And what is Nate up to here? How about good old Sowing Myco spawn? So
Okay.
no kick. Just going to go find a land off the cast trigger.
Feels like you're either going to want your best land, aka Eldrazi Temple, or maybe another Saga. Saga probably doesn't seem great here, but there is a Temple, and does some nice job ramping. And Blade is a good start. So one half of the combo here, ready to threaten a blowout at any point. But to be fair, Sebastian could take his whole turn and wear End Tear. I love fusing that card.
Yeah, it does feel good when you fuse that one.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so Temple's in. The land coming in untapped off Myco Spawn is so potent. So
yeah, that card, come on, it could have came into play tapped. That card was good enough.
Yeah. So back Sebastian's way. Has a clock. Now needs to decide, want to add more clock, want to interact. Arena of Glory is pretty nice. It's a way to kind of, you can maybe interact this turn and give haste next turn.
Yeah. I mean, could have did haste as well this turn. It's slightly awkward, but that was definitely an option, and we'll see what kind of interaction we want to do. There is Wear, Tear, Leyline Binding, and Consign in hand from Sebastian. So that is, I would say, all of the interaction. That's tough. I don't even know what I would do here.
All right, well, Sebastian's going to pass the turn, leaving all this interaction up. Going to allow Saga to go to Chapter 2. And ready to react. And, of course, if you're Nate, I mean, oh, third land, go. I got nothing, I guess, you know.
Yeah, it's not really a flashed-in threat, so you know it's interaction, especially with Sebastian pausing there. Like, a good player is going to pick up on that. Be like, you had an option to play something else. You chose not to. How do I best play around your interaction pieces? And when it's open deckless, you know what they are. But to be fair, Wear, Tear, Leyline Binding, and Consign, it's tough to play around all of them, even though kind of Rumble kind of does.
Yeah, there you go. So a colored sorcery ready to rock and roll.
Ooh, a different Grove of the Burn Willows.
All right, Nate, let me down. We got Grove, Labyrinth, and the little Brood Scale. So that's the other part of the combo.
Okay. Makes sense to pick that one up.
All right, so the pieces are assembled. In theory, things are all set for Nate. Of course, we know better.
Yep. All set in the sense that you could get infinite mana and your creature could be infinitely large, but if you don't have anything to go with it, Nate still couldn't win the game. And wow, look at that discipline. Nate decides to do nothing there. So Kolaghan's command, Kozilek's command, was revealed. So that is able to be played here. So Nate actually did have the win, because this command that was revealed very early with the Ancient Stirrings, you know, you had the ability to go Brood Scale, equip, infinite mana, command for your entire deck, put a Glaring Fleshraker into play and win. But Nate, like you said, was smart enough to realize that, hey, that's not going to work.
All right, so that was a K-Command response. It's a little off camera there, but looks like it made some Spawn tokens. I'm going to get it right today, I swear.
You nailed it.
And,
well, you already got it wrong, so.
Today being the future.
Okay.
Not this moment right now.
I got you, bro.
And going to scry cards to the bottom and draw a card. Pass turn back. A lot of mana available for Nate next turn. And we got Lush Portico coming down. So Nate's still at 12. And again,
hello.
Oh, man. We say a lot this week.
We have. Yeah.
Just Surveil Land, Entomb, Flage to the yard.
So good. And now we have Consign with Replicate plus Leyline, plus Leyline Binding available. So the shields are fully up. The pressure's on. This is what Zoo looks like in 2025. It's one threat and back it up now. And to be fair, if you play against an aggressive deck, it shifts where it's like removal. The interaction is all kill a creature. So this is a very malleable deck where it can kind of do whatever it wants in the post-sport games. Domain Zoo is a really strong deck right now.
All right, so Urza Saga comes down. Here's the Brood Scale. We're going to see a life gain for Sebastian.
Glorified Grizzly Bear right now.
Yep. And now what is the next step?
Looks like turning this Eldrazi sideways.
So the fear, of course, is Arena of Glory popping that Flash into play next turn for lethal.
Yeah, pretty tough to do, but not impossible. You got to play some spells.
Spell on a fetch land.
Spell and a fetch, yep.
All right.
So honestly, Sebastian is really hoping that Nate plays something that you can consign.
All right, so here's the binding. That will not go to the graveyard, without help at least. Goodbye, Brood Scale. And Jetsu on tap, okay.
It's got to lead me to believe that we have a command for this Flage to be able to exile it. either in play or from the graveyard. You can exile like with the fetch on the stack. Exile it from the yard. And that's the nice thing about Nate. Nate doesn't have to be reactive against that Flage to just like wait till it comes into play and Lightning Helixes him. He can just be like, in response to that fetch, exile it from the yard and draw cards or put some Scions into play.
Yeah, the flexibility of Kozilek's command is quite wild.
Yeah. It's no Kolaghan's command, but it's still pretty good.
It is no Kolaghan's command, you're correct.
You're right, it's playable.
All right, so Sebastian working it through here. Just going to go for an attack. So attack for 4. And there is Unholy Heat. Delirium looks pretty on to me.
Yeah, pretty free there, and that's big. Those Unholy Heats are excellent. That's one of the few ways you can deal with Scion of Draco. With that 12 mana value, it's a tricky card to actually get off the battlefield.
All right, so there's the Kavu. No end step command. Saga goes to 2. I think it's important for Sebastian to be able to finish this game. You know, like, Nate's still at 12.
Okay, so that's 10 mana and Cavern on Eldrazi. This looks to be like a sowing. Oh, wow. Okay, excellent. So it can't be countered, but you can counter the ability with this Consign. And I like that. Trying to get your Flage count up is what I'm all about. So I would like to see a Consign on that and then bring Flage back. And that's at least decent. It's still not even amazing, but...
Yeah, it is a 6/6, so it can be taken down by a Flage, ETB trigger, and then attack trigger. So,
wow.
Gonna let it happen, though. So, goodbye, Territorial Kavu. Hello, Soy Myco Spawn, in for 3.
I'm very surprised with that.
What do you think Sebastian's planning?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess, so we have Leyline of the Guild Pack, Consign, and Lightning Bolt. So I guess Bolt upstairs to 9, but then Flage is only 6 damage because there's so many blockers. So I would think Consign that trigger, leave yourself with a 5/5. I mean, I guess your 5/5 doesn't really look too great against the Devourer anyways, and Sebastian is just trying to protect against an Emrakul, I suppose. So I think that's the plan for Sebastian.
All right, so a reminder, of course, that is 2 spawn tokens in play. That's not 1 token with 2 counters on it. Just an easy way to keep track of multiple spawns. All right, and now thinking it through, Sebastian is definitely up against it this game. Threats have been answered. And let me see, end step, Leyline Binding.
Okay.
Gonna bind up a 6/6.
Wow, if we had that too, binding the Devourer and consigning the trigger to destroy Kavu looked amazing.
That is true.
Because now we bring back Flage. Yeah, because now you bring back Flage, you could aim the damage at a spawn. Nate would make a construct in response. Then Flage attacks, kills the construct, and Nate would take 11. Ouch.
All right, so Sebastian going to work through it. Here we see Ragavan was the draw, it looks like. Bolt, Ragavan, Consign, and a Leyline.
Yeah, now you don't even have the extra card in the graveyard to be able to bring back Flage.
All right, so here is Ragavan. It's turn 6 or 7, not necessarily the best turn for Ragavan. A couple spawns in the way also. Active Urza Saga. A lot going on for Nate here. All right, end step, 2 spawns, sack for mana.
That's actually probably a good sign for Sebastian. That's probably saying, hey, I don't have an Emrakul immediately coming, and you could consign the trigger that would take your turn, but the 13/13 would stay, and that's a tricky one to deal with.
All right, so going to stack the Urza Saga. You're going to make a construct. That's 2.
I think you have to consign this because it's that Urza Saga. It's a Haywire Might.
Flexibility of Saga not to be denied. His combo decks, it's trying to search your blade most of the time, just like Amulet and Amulet, but the flexibility of having all these unique answers is very, very potent.
Yeah.
All right, so that's going to go off. It's going to go get a look. Is it combo time or interaction time?
Exactly. Or your Flage is gone time.
All right, Soul Guide Lantern. Goodbye, Flage.
Yeah, and that's brutal because sure you can consign that, but then you can just sack the Lantern, so.
All right.
I think Sebastian is maybe playing this a little too conservatively.
All right, so we got 2 3/3 constructs now and a 3/3. Just an army of 3/3s. A little bigger than Ragavan. There's a bolt in hand for Sebastian. They are coming in.
With being at 13, I would still probably just take this and then bolt the untapped construct, connect with the Ragavan, try to get something off my opponent's deck, but that doesn't look great either. Your Flage plan was really it. You know, that was your whole plan, and now that that's gone, this game is going to look a lot tougher.
Also the option to bolt the untapped token right now, take 1 less damage, so it's a little bit defensive too.
Good point. Yep.
You know, but yeah. Or this works too. So Ragavan defense, gonna go for the bolt and then shrink on the construct.
Also, not the order you should do. If there was a command or an unholy heat, you kind of get wrecked. You always let damage resolve and then end step bolt the construct or in response to an artifact. Just ways to insulate yourself against troublesome things.
All right, draw looked like it was Stubborn Denial, so
4 spike.
a lot of interaction, but not a lot to do. You know when you're casting a ley line, things aren't so great.
Yeah, not great, not great.
This, of course, also taps out of the consign in hand, so gonna sack that Lantern and draw a card, and Nate knows it's go time.
Oh, yeah.
All right, start with the stirrings. Take a look. 5 cards. Didn't get a great look.
Yeah, neither did I, but yeah, this game is definitely slipping away. Which giant Eldrazi is that?
Looks like Emrakul to me. The promised end has arrived. Mommy is home. Let's count up these up. That's never mind. That's not counting anything at all here. Let's go to game 3. Emrakul, as she often does, ends the game. We're going to a decider.
Yep, and I think Nate played that game masterfully. You know, there's definitely situations where maybe he was playing around the possible things that Sebastian was doing. Maybe just didn't have it, but it seemed like Nate kind of had the goods the whole time and just really danced around the interaction, put Sebastian in a weird spot, and then was able to capitalize. So really nice job there from Nate.
Yeah, when you're not able to do something on the turns you leave interaction up,
yes,
and your opponent's able to just say, okay, your go, I'm going to keep crafting. Really, really tough. So
that's just a good lesson in Magic in general, not even modern Magic. Taxing your opponent's mana is going to lead to a lot of victories. Mana efficiency is great, but if you can make your opponent not efficient, that's even better.
Yeah, one of the funnest parts of Magic for me is playing around your opponent's interaction, making them play at times they don't want to play it, making things as awkward as possible for them. That was really a great lesson in that. So pop back to our sideboards here, of course, open deck list. Any changes for game 3?
Not really. I saw from Sebastian, at least, there was those Stubborn Denials. I don't love Stubborn Denial in this matchup. When you have 4 consigns already, like, we saw that we were definitely threat light. So I would probably want to take those stubs out and maybe just put in whatever creatures were taken out. I would think that'd be the only change I would make, because Sebastian should really not only try to be the aggressor, but really put the pedal to the metal and try to close out this game before Nate can do exactly what he just did last game.
Sounds great. So, Corey, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I really like this Brute Scale deck.
Me too.
I really liked its ability to go from combo to kind of ramp to a little more mid-range aggressive. And if I wanted to make sure that I could afford this deck, you know, I want to make sure I have enough store credit banked up at StarCityGames.com. How would I do that?
Dude, you got to go and sell your cards. And then if you're going to rebuy the deck anyways, get that 30% store credit bonus from SCG. This is what I do all the time. Just a good way to, it almost feels like you're renting decks from SCG. Be like, you know what? I'm going to play this deck for a couple months. I might sell it back to you. Now I'm going to get another deck that I really like. And with that 30% trade-in bonus, you know, it doesn't hurt. It really doesn't hurt. So go to sellyourcards.starcitygames.com to be able to do that. You can mail your cards in. You can show up to the headquarters. You can do whatever you want. You can come to one of these events, sell your cards, and get the trade-in bonus here. So SCG makes it easy on you.
Sounds great. Sellyourcards.starcitygames.com. Game 3, the decider. A huge game for Nate and Sebastian here, of course. A loss doesn't knock either player out of top 8 contention, but it makes things much more difficult.
It makes them have to win the last 2 rounds and hope for tiebreakers. And honestly, Jim, with top 32 being the hope, this could very well be a win and into the Pro Tour match. Okay. Win and into the Pro Tour game. You know, just putting yourself at 11-4, that's about that line. You know, you still don't obviously want to lose your next 2 and be like, well, I still get the Pro Tour. But we are kind of getting to that point here for these players. So Pro Tour in beautiful Richmond, Virginia on the lines here.
Yeah, it's really, really cool, too. There are so many good, goalpost steps in this tournament where, okay, I lost this match. I can't make top 8 anymore, but I'm playing for that Pro Tour slot.
Yeah.
I want to go 2 for the first time or back to the Pro Tour.
Basically, just keep playing Magic until they tell you to stop and try to win as much as you can. That's what it's all about.
That's what I'm all about.
Yeah.
So we see Fetch Land for Sebastian and Urza Saga turn 1 for Nate. Pretty aggressive.
This better be in response to that trigger because I see 2 Wear Tears in hand from Sebastian. Get that Saga out of here.
All right. Now, of course, doing this does mean no Triome, no turn 2 Scion. So there's an opportunity cost there.
That's true. That is true.
All right, so we're going to see, we're going to see a Triome. All right, so valuing the threat over potentially the answer of the Urza Saga.
Or, easily could go untap, tear the Saga, play another fetch land. 1 mana Stone Rain is pretty dang good, Jim. I try to do that anytime I can.
You don't got to sell me on that one.
Yeah.
All right. All right, so back Sebastian's way.
I saw Clarion Conqueror in hand as well, and I don't love this, Jim.
It's Kabu time. So Sebastian trying to learn from last game, going for creature first, then interaction. Last game was a little too interactive. This game going a little more with the threat. We saw it go up to 2 here. Maybe Sebastian realizing that there can't be a construct made off this thing and try and get it before it gets a Blade of the Blood Chief.
Yeah, I would just love tear that Saga. Maybe I saw and I didn't see a Wear Tear, but I really think I did. Tear the Saga. It's like a time walk anyways, So, sure, you can get your threat down a turn later, but you're time walking your opponent.
All right, well, there's a Brood Scale. Just a 2/2. Modest Modern Horizons common. And back Sebastian's way. Sebastian is thinking. Sebastian's untapping. Big spot. Turn 3. Take a draw. I like the little slow roll there on that draw. Let's keep this exciting.
Yeah. Nobody does it better than Ken Yukihiro at the Pro Tour. Really slow rolling everyone. That stuff is fun.
Yep.
Yeah, if you got Tear here and you have Consign, it looks like we don't have another land, but still, there's Scion of Draco too. If we play Scion of Draco, the game is over, as the combo is just face up with the Saga here. So I love attacking and looting first, try to find land 3.
All right, in for 5. 5 basic land types. Goodbye, Wrath of Disguise. Draw a card. It's a land. Big pickup. So now Sebastian has the ability to play another threat, so have some interaction up or leave a lot of interaction up.
Yes. And I think at this point, if Sebastian had Lightning Bolt for the creature plus Tear, just interact and stop your opponent from doing anything. But if not, you definitely got to think about it. So I saw Scion, Kavu, Clarion Conqueror, Wear Tear as the 4. So
now, Clarion Conqueror does deny the combo.
It does. But if there's a removal spell end the combo, that's big game. So
does add 3 power to the board. Does change the clock a bit. Makes it a 2-turn clock, barring other things. So a lot to think about here. Cracking that fetch makes me think, nope, never mind. Pump fake. Love it. All right, feeling the weight of the moment. Got to crack that fetch.
The one thing if I was in Sebastian's shoes right now, the Saga, I probably still would have blown it up on turn 1, but whatever. Now that we're in this situation, I would be trying to think, okay, what's the best play I can make to interact with my opponent and insulate myself from a command on my only threat? Maybe that's playing threat number 2 and, tearing the Urza Saga, or maybe it's leaving up a Consign and tearing the Saga.
All right, well, we're going to find out right now. Tapping 1.
Love it.
Goodbye, Stone Rain. See you later. Tapping 2. And there's a Scion. All right, so go for the threat. So 9 power in play is nothing to sniff at. Only 1 land and 1 Grizzly Bear for Nate. Nate's got some work to do because there's plenty more interaction in Sebastian's hand.
And I don't see any Walking Ballistas in the list. That could make it so Nate could still win the game this turn with Blade, Equip, Ballista, win. So I don't think it is possible to be able to win here on the spot.
All right, Nate's going to work it through under a lot of pressure. There's not only the pressure of the power in play, but understanding that Sebastian's tapped out this turn. It's not going to be for long. Just an Ugin's Labyrinth and saying go. No imprint either. That's tough.
That is tough. All we're representing here is an adapt to kind of ramp you, a rumble at home, if you will.
So, of course, adapt is the natural ability of the Brood Scale,
Yeah.
Allowing it to simply add a counter or make a token. More seen in limited games than anything else,
That's like the natural ability of your opponent targeting your Nadu once. Like, yeah, sure, that doesn't really come up.
Nope.
It's all about the combo aspect with it.
All right, so we see an attack. Trigger on the Kabu. Like an exile card. That's an exile card from the graveyard. That's a huge sign of strength for Sebastian.
That's Fable saying, I don't want to discard any cards for Chapter 2. I would be terrified if I'm Nate Green.
Yeah, I'm good. I'll just kind of keep Delirium off the equation here. No unholy heats, no surprise Ember Cools.
Yeah.
And, all right, and now Sebastian's in a phenomenal spot. Got the threats in play, able to have a bunch of mana up for a bunch of interaction and lethal on the board. Mostly, of course, some blockers here and there as well.
Yeah, and I see Consign and Clarion Conqueror. So only the Consign as interaction. I thought I saw Leyline Binding as well somewhere in there, but maybe not.
That's the Conqueror, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
Sebastian making it extra hard, just going as fast as humanly possible.
Yes.
Kibler style.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's the Kibler.
I see 2 blue cards.
Oh, that might be double Consign.
No.
That's pretty good.
All right, going to say go again. And Nate is really patient here.
Or really dead.
Take a look at Nate, and I'm not sure either way.
I mean,
great poker face here.
He's not dead right now. Now he's dead to a Consign because the other creature had to block, and yep, GG.
All right, wow. Sebastian takes down the win, moving to 11-2. Nate still in the running.
Yep.
Not dead yet. Played very well that match, but